Hi everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Saajid and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my vlog for the stay home reading rush. It is Thursday afternoon and I have not done any reading as yet whatsoever. That's mostly because I have an assignment that's due tonight. So I'm trying to finish up that, but hopefully I could finish maybe one or two things today. I do have some updates on my TBR. I did kind of change around a couple of the books because in true Saajid fashion, I'm very bad at committing to the books that I often put in my readathon TBRs. One of the reasons for that is because I didn't end up finishing a book that I was supposed to read before the stay home reading rush, and that is Valmiki's Daughter by Shani Mutu. This is actually the book that I'm writing the assignment on. I don't have to finish it to be able to write the assignment, but I would like to finish it today. I have about 100 pages left, so hopefully I will be able to do that. This has a house on the cover, so I will be reading this for the house on the cover challenge. You don't really see the whole house, you're just seeing a wall of the house, but it's still a house. So I will no longer be reading Love After Love by Ingrid Prasad for that. I'll be reading that next week. I will also no longer be reading An Unkindness of Ghosts by Rivers Solomon. I actually decided to DNF that book and go back to it at a later date. So instead I'll be reading Heartstopper by Alice Oseman Volume 1. This is a queer graphic novel that everybody thinks is the best thing since sliced bread for some reason. So I want to check it out and see if I feel the same. And it's a graphic novel, so it will definitely go for the challenge of reading a book all in one room, which is what I was going to read An Unkindness of Ghosts for. And then the other two books are remaining the same from my TBR. So the first one is to read a book set in a country or a place that you would like to visit but can't, obviously. And for that one, I'll be continuing to read A Silent Life by Rayan Shah. I already started this book. I've been reading it for a couple months now because it's one of those stories where it's set over a long period of time, like a few decades. And for that reason, I've been reading it very slowly because each chapter we're following a different era of the main protagonist's life. And I'm reading it for this challenge because it's set in Guyana, which is somewhere I've always wanted to go, and I was actually supposed to go to Guyana in June for a conference, but that got postponed to next year because of the pandemic, of course. So this book should probably fill that gap for me, I guess. And then the last challenge is to read a book that you think would bring a smile to your face. So for this one, I picked The Hen Was by Eddie Bajai because it is an FFY contemporary romance about a queer Muslim protagonist. It's up my alley. If it doesn't bring me joy, I will be very confused. So plans for the weekend, it's currently Thursday and I would like to finish these two books since I'm currently reading them and I'm close to finishing both of them. I'd like to finish them by Friday or by tomorrow evening, and in the interim during that time I would also like to read Heartstopper as well, since it's a graphic novel and it should take me no time to read it, because I really want to focus the weekend on reading The Henna Was because it is a longer book. Even though it's YA, it's like 400 pages long. So that's the plan for this weekend. We'll see if I end up doing all of the things that I say that I will. Hopefully I will. Cross fingers this vlog will be successful. Hi everybody, I know I'm looking ugly and crusty, but you know, this is a vlog, so I feel like I'm allowed to. Anyways, so it's like almost 1 a.m. on Friday. I didn't read a page. Ooh, I dropped a book. I didn't read a page of Shani Mutu's book, and I didn't read a single page of A Silent Life. So I got an extension from my teacher. We had class, and she was like, "You can hand it in next Thursday," and I was like, so I didn't finish. I didn't finish the damn book, and I didn't attempt to read A Silent Life. This is already going great. I'm already failing to read books that I'm almost done with. How is that even possible? So I was feeling bad that I didn't read anything on Thursday. So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to read the graphic novel. So I read the graphic novel and it was amazing. So it's called Heartstopper, and it's just no wonder they call it Heartstopper. Girl, it stopped my heart. I loved it. It was such an adorable story. The art was really cute. The characters were really cute. It ended on a cliffhanger, and that's the only problem that I had with this book. It was too short. But that's the problem that I have with most graphic novels. They're always too short, and that's not a problem, like objectively speaking, because graphic novels are graphic novels. You know, you can't expect the authors or the illustrators to just draw like this, you know, long, lengthy, detailed story, because that would take a lot, right? So I understand that, but it ended like at a point where I felt like it shouldn't have ended. Like it was too much of a cliffhanger. It didn't give us enough time to like recoup from this story. So yeah, I didn't love that, but the story itself was just fantastic. I loved the characters. I loved the romance, just the feels. Like, this book will definitely fit the challenge of a book that brings a smile to my face. If I don't finish The Henna Was, then this book definitely fit that challenge. I mean, it might probably even fit that challenge better than The Henna Was. I was swooning throughout this story. It was so good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give that like 4 stars. It's definitely not a 5-star read. A graphic novel needs to come good for me to give give it 5 stars. But yeah, really enjoyed it, definitely would recommend it, and hopefully tomorrow is more of a productive day. I do have some work to do. I have a meeting in the morning, so that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow I should finish the Shani Mutu book and the next one. I need to go sleep. Bye. I just wanted to show you all what my head looks like in the morning. And it's worse because I haven't cut my hair in so long. Okay, so it is... Oh god, that looks so awful. It's Saturday morning. I didn't really vlog on Friday for some reason. I didn't finish Shani Mutu's book. I didn't even touch it because I'm the worst person ever. But I finished A Silent Life. And I really loved it. Right now, I want to go for a bike ride, so I'm going to do that. And when I come back, I'll talk a little bit more about A Silent Life with y'all. But I just wanted to say that I finished A Silent Life, and I feel really good. Okay, so I got back from my bike ride, and it was a good time. I had fun. I just really enjoy going outside and kind of avoiding cabin fever, and really bike riding is the only thing that I could do. That and maybe reading in my yard, but those are the only two things I could really do to like get out of the house on a daily basis, so I try to do them as much as I possibly can. And it's good for your mental health to get that fresh air and to get that vitamin D. But we're not talking about fresh air and vitamin D in this video, we're talking about books, and I finished A Silent Life last night and I loved it. This book is definitely a 5-star read. I've been reading it for the past 3 months, as I said, and the reason why it took me so long is because the story, even though it's short, it's less than 200 pages, it's very densely written, and it takes place over a long period of time. So we're following this one character over the course of maybe like a few decades, and I didn't mind reading it slowly because it almost felt as if I was growing with her. So I enjoyed reading it over a long period of time, but I do think that I will reread this, and when I do that, I will probably read it over hopefully a shorter period of time. But A Silent Life, if you didn't know, is a story that is set in Guyana, and it's really difficult to tell you what the plot is without just telling you what the whole story is about. But essentially, we're following this woman named Aliyah from around the age of, like, she's a child when the book starts, and then it ends, like, maybe when she's in her 30s or 40s. So we're following her for a very large portion of her life, so it's definitely not a slice of life. It's like a slice of a whole life. I just hit my hand on something. So the main premise of the story is that she has this grandmother who's very silent and doesn't speak, and she begins to learn why her grandmother is the way that she is through seeing these visions of the past. So it kind of has this fabulous element where her environment every now and again would transform around her, and she would be transported to the past essentially, and she would see her grandmother and her grandmother's relationship with her grandfather and how that sort of played out in their lives. It was stunning. There's a lot of feminist themes in here. It's written, oh god y'all, the writing in this book is probably my favorite aspect of it. Ryan Shah's prose is just absolutely glorious. She's definitely one of the most talented writers I've ever come across. The way that she writes is just Caribbean writers write like no other writers in the world. Like, they have this way of just writing, using their prose to write love letters to their countries. Hi, mommy.
Good afternoon.
What are you doing outside?
Picking carapole.
My mother is picking carapole leaf outside. I've never seen my mother in, like, outside the house there before. I think I was talking about the writing. So yeah, Caribbean writers have this way of using their prose to just write love letters to their countries. And it's the same thing with the Shani Mutu. Oh, fuck. It's the same thing with the Shani Mutu book. Like, the writing is just absolutely stunning, and minus, like, you could just disregard the story. I could read this book all day long just because of the writing in here. I would say it's a story about the importance of history, knowing your context, knowing where you come from, and understanding that no matter where you are, that history will always be with you. You are a product of your history. You are a product of your family's context and life. You are a product of... You're not just an individual who fell off. You didn't just fall off a coconut tree. You don't exist in a vacuum as an individual. You are part of a larger story. Yeah, that sounds deep and profound, I think. So yeah, that's where I'll leave that. I gave it 5 stars. It was incredible. And this went for the challenge of reading a book set in a place that you love to visit. The majority of this book is set in Guyana, but a good portion, the middle portion, is set in London because the main protagonist does migrate for a bit of her life to the UK. And those are 2 places that I would like to visit. I visited the UK. I went to London last year, actually, and I really liked it, and I would love to go back. So that's a place that I would like to visit. And as I said, I was supposed to go to Guyana for the Caribbean Studies Association conference, which is like this, place that students and academic people go and like present stuff and go to, I don't know, it's some kind of academic thing. I was supposed to present a paper, me and some of my like fellow students, we were supposed to go and present papers on this panel, and it was going to be great, but we can't do it anymore because of the pandemic, so I'm kind of disappointed. But it did get postponed. I think it takes place maybe every 2 years, so they postponed it to next year. So I will be going next year instead. I've always wanted to go to Guyana too because my grandfather was originally from Guyana. My mom's dad. My mom was actually born in Guyana. Her mom was from Trinidad and her dad was from Guyana, and she was born in her dad's country but raised in her mom's. And it's been a really long time since she went to Guyana because most of her dad's family from there moved to like Canada and the States and stuff. So I feel like a lot of people don't know this, but Guyana is actually a Caribbean country. Even though it is not an island, it's part of mainland South America, it is still considered a Caribbean country because of its politics, its history, its culture. And the same goes for Suriname as well as Belize and even French Guyana. So all of those are considered Caribbean countries, which is why I try to avoid saying like islands when I talk about the Caribbean. I don't ever say Caribbean islands, I say Caribbean countries, because not all Caribbean countries are islands. But my grandfather actually is from an island, and my mom was born there too. So Guyana has this river called the Essequibo River, and in the delta there are islands. And there's an island, one of the islands is called Wakenham, and that's where my grandfather was originally from, and that's where my mom was born. So I would love to go to Guyana one day, and I would love to visit Wakenham. Even though this book isn't set anywhere near Wakenham, I'd love to visit Wakenham just to see where my mom was born and to see where my grandfather grew up. That would be really cool. So that's why I would like to visit Guyana, and that's why I read this book for this challenge. So now all that's left to do is to finish up Valmiki's Daughter. I still have 100 pages of this to go, so I'm committing myself to finishing this today. I have no excuse. And then if I have time after that, I'll go ahead and start the Henna Wars. I was supposed to start that today and finish with everything else today, but obviously in true Saajid fashion, I didn't. Hi everybody, okay, so it is Sunday morning. I got up a while now and I wasn't really doing anything much, and then I remember that there was this thing that I was supposed to do weeks ago, like a form that I was supposed to fill out that's way overdue that I forgot to do, and I'm in a panic. So I have to do that this morning. My head is not very clear right now, so I think I'm going to go for a bike ride because it's already been so late and nobody has complained to me about not filling it out. So I'm just going to go for a bike ride, clear my mind, do that, answer some emails, get some work done, and then I will then get started on the Henna Wars, which is the only book left that I have to read for the reading rush. And obviously I haven't started it, so I don't think I'll be able to read the whole thing today, but I want to at least get 100, maybe 200 pages in. And I realized in all of that I forgot to completely tell you that I finished Valmiki's Daughter by Shani Mutu, and I absolutely fell in love with this book. It was amazing. It did get boring, like I would say 3/4 of the way through. We got to like the last 100 pages and I wasn't really invested in some of the new characters that kind of came into the story halfway, and the latter 150 pages or so really focused on those characters, so I wasn't super duper engaged. But coming on to the end of the book, you saw how those characters and their relationship with the main character Vivica was very relevant for how the book ended and how the resolution came about. So I wasn't super mad about that by the end of it, and I kind of like disregarded my lack of enjoyment of those parts of the story because overall it was just fantastic. I will talk about this a little bit more. Oh my god, it's going to rain, so I probably won't be able to go for my bike ride. I'm gonna go do the things that I have to do, and then I'll probably sit down a little bit later and talk to y'all about this book. So I'm outside enjoying my little bike ride. I don't know if this is a good idea to ride my bike while holding my phone, but I kind of wanted to give y'all a little bit of variety other than just like my bedroom. So here you go. I mean, my street is not exactly the most scenic place ever. Neither is my very orange house. Okay, so I think I'm just going to stop here and just continue filming. Right, so pardon my sweat. Valmiki's Daughter is a story about people who are living very inauthentic lives. Very different from the lives that they truly want to live or that they truly desire to live. It's a story about a family primarily focusing on the dad, Valmiki, and his eldest daughter, Vivica, and the two of them are queer and closeted. And the story is really about them kind of contending with that and trying to hide it for the most part and live conventional lives, which they both suck at doing, or at the very least they're good at doing it but they're miserable while doing it. I would say Vivica is the one who sucks at it and Valmiki is the one who does it well but is very miserable. And it's very interesting because it's kind of exploring the generational differences between their experiences as well as the gender differences between a man and a woman. So I really appreciated the way that Shani Mutu explored all of that. I would say that it didn't really have much of a happy ending. I didn't expect it to because it's like a literary fiction. Plus I knew going into it that Shani Mutu tends to have very drab endings. When I say drab, I don't mean like badly written, but I just mean like they're not very happy endings. However, I will say that the very last page of the book kind of gives the reader room to imagine an eventual happy ending. I really love the last page, which was the epilogue. The epilogue was literally just like a half a page, and it was brilliant. The way that she like, it changed the whole tone of the ending of the book for me, because I really thought that, you know, this character was just going to give up on life, but it kind of gave hope to an eventual happy ending, which I appreciated. I'm sweating. I'm so sorry. If you see like my sweat looking white, that's because I put on sunscreen before I came outside, trying to protect my already deteriorating skin. This video is the ghetto. So other than the story itself and the themes of the story, what I really enjoyed about it was the writing. Shani Mutu, just like Ryan Shah, actually has like a really just amazing sense of the environment and the surroundings, and the way that she describes everything was just so... These birds are so annoying. Wow. Did y'all read Shani Mutu too? Do you have things to say? Anyway, so as I was saying, I really love the writing. Her prose is just exquisite. The way that she describes everything, I really enjoy. I will say that I like Ryan Shah's writing and description a lot better, but Shani Mutu she's almost there. Like, her writing is just fantastic. I wish I could write like that. In editing the book, that was a pigeon. I hate pigeons. At the end of the day, the book was amazing. It was well done. I would highly recommend it. I really need to read more Shani Mutu because she's fantastic. The sun is so nice. I feel like I would look nice if I wasn't drenched in sweat. But yeah, I'm gonna go continue my little bike ride, and I will see y'all when I see y'all. Let me put away my damn phone before I break my ass. Okay everybody, so it's Monday afternoon. I didn't read a morsel of the Hannah Wars. I didn't read anything on Sunday, so that was a huge fail. But I feel like, you know, I still finished 2 books that I've been reading for a while. I read another graphic novel which I really liked. I completed all of the challenges technically. Each of the books brought a smile to my face in some way, and that was the challenge the Hannah Wars was supposed to go for. And I completed all of the other challenges. So I think it was a productive reading weekend. I liked what I read. I finished some books which I haven't done in a while, so that's a plus for me. I'm not too happy with the vlog. I think it's a little bit messy and all over the place. I was saying on Twitter that vlogging is not really my forte. Like, if y'all have tips for how to do a good reading vlog and to make sure that it's not messy and all over the place, let me know in the comments down below. I'm not really good at it. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any thoughts on any of these books. You probably only read Heartstopper if you do. But let me know nonetheless. I hope you have a lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.